Good morning, beautiful people. It's your boy Shannon Coleman, aka The Rev. I want to give a shout out to my leaders, Apostle Byron Hope Lampkin and Pastor Patricia Lampkin. They are wonderful leaders. They always push me to be my best and do the things that I need to do for the kingdom and the uplifting of God's kingdom. As you know, I am a believer. I am a Christian. And I love God. I love what God has done. I love what God is going to do. And I love that God has called and chosen us to do things on this earth. He sent us. He sent us to go. We asked him to send us, and that's what he's done. At least some of us. Some of us, we go kicking and screaming, but we still know that we were chosen, and we are called, and we are equipped for the mission at hand. So I posted a video earlier today and I misspoke. Sometimes you get tongue tied. Sometimes you got a million things going in your head and you misspeak. Jesus fed 5,000 men besides women and children. So 5,000 men Jesus fed. Earlier today I said 500. It wouldn't let me edit, so I had to take the video down. But here it is. Jesus fed the 5,000. Okay, people misspeak, it happens. But the point of the video was to give encouragement to those people that are walking in their calling, that are doing the things that God has called them to do. Sometimes we get so caught up in what the world says and what the world is doing. Sometimes we forget about the calling and the purpose on our lives. Sometimes we forget that we ask God to make a way for us, that we ask God to bid us to come, that we ask God to allow us to walk on water, which is purpose, right? Peter was in the boat with the rest of the disciples after Jesus did all of the things that he did, after he fed the 5,000 and with 5 fish and some and 5 loaves, after he break it and he told the disciples to hand it out, and then they took up 12 baskets afterwards. Jesus, he healed the multitudes. He wouldn't send them away without nourishing them. They were in the desert place, right? So he said, no, we're not. They were in the wilderness. He said, no, we're going to feed them here now, because the disciples wanted to send them away. And then he told the disciples, y'all go ahead and get on the boat. And y'all go ahead across and I'll be with you. And he went up into the mountains and he was praying. And then he went to them and started walking on the water. And as he started walking on the water, they saw him. They saw him coming. They thought it was a ghost. They thought it was a spirit. They was afraid. And Jesus said, it's me. And then Peter said, Lord, if it's you, bid me to come. Bid me to come. So God said, come on. And Peter stepped out and started walking on water. As he started walking on water, things happened. The storms happened. I imagine the waves started moving. The waves got high. They started splashing them and everything like that. The wind started swirling. And Peter took his eyes off Christ and he started to sink. That's the point of the message. We start to sink when we take our eyes off Christ. That's it. Okay. When Christ calls us, when we ask him to come and he calls us out and he say, come to me, we take our eyes off of him. When we take our eyes off of him, things begin to happen in our lives. And we begin to lose hope. We begin to lose faith. We begin to doubt. Jesus asked Peter, why did you doubt? That's what happens to us. When things start getting rough in our lives, when we can't, control the situations anymore, when we give all control over to God, and then the tempter comes and distracts us, we begin to fall into diverse temptations. But God offered us a way of escape. All we got to do is repent and turn our eyes back to him. He reached down and he grabbed Peter. He lifted him back up. We have to remember, when God tells us to do something, when he anoints us and equips us to do something, when we ask him to open up doors for us, when we ask him to do all of these marvelous things for us, we have to make sure that we keep our eyes on him. So when the tempter comes and the storms come, we don't begin to sink into depression. We don't begin to sink into anxieties. We don't begin to sink into fear and traumas and all of that other stuff. We know that, guess what? We got a champion on our side. He never lost a battle. He never lost a fight. He defeated death, hell, and the grave. So why would we take our eyes off of him? He's given us the authority. But we got to believe it. We got to receive it. And we got to walk in it. I don't know why people get crazy when leaders or pastors or bishops or somebody, they may misspeak, because there's so many things and you getting excited and you have flames, you slip on some things, but you know the content, you know what it is. The whole point is, don't forget who called you. That's it. When you going through the tests and trials of life, when you're going through sicknesses, when you're going through troubles in your relationships, your marriage, when you're in your family, whatever it is, when your boss and everybody's acting crazy, when things are going on in your life, don't forget who called you. Remember who anointed you. Remember who appointed you. And remember that he's giving you the grace to get through it. Trust in God, not man. I love you all with the love of God. There's nothing you can do about it. We can do all things through Christ that gives us strength. And never forget, I am my brother's keeper, and I'm also my sister's protector. And so are you. Peace.